Thrift shop.
Thrift shop. That's one I haven't heard in a while.
Why are you not listening to Thrift Shop?
On the daily? You are?
No. I do listen to Can't Hold Us at the gym, though.
Oh.
Can't Hold Us is a great working out song.
Downtown's a good one.
Oh, Downtown's great, too.
Where is Macklemore? Is he okay?
He's at the Thrift Shop.
Oh, duh. Hey, howdy, hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Mike's Monday Jams, the official podcast for music appreciators everywhere. Today we're going to be talking about Tiny Moves by the artist Bleachers. Let's get it.
The tiniest moves you make, watching my whole world shake. Look who's on the edge again.
Well, we've got the Monday Jam for Monday, March 25th, 2024, the last one of March. Next week is April Fool's. We might have to do something silly, goofy for that.
Well, don't tell them about it now. We're supposed to fool them.
Last one for March. Another one, 2 weeks in a row, one brought to you by the radio. So, shocker there. I know we don't have very much of that happening nowadays. Songs being brought onto you by the radio. But alas, heard this song on Alt Nation this week as I had headed for my checkup appointment at the doctor. And I was like, I can get with this. I texted you about it. I was like, ooh, this one, I don't know if you've heard this one yet, but it sounds pretty good.
I've heard it on Alt Nation.
How about that? So, but yeah, we're going to be talking about Bleachers today. And again, another ode to the radio for 2 weeks in a row, last week with Keith Whitley, and now with Bleachers. Bleachers, of course, is the brainchild of a man named Jack Antonoff, who is a multi-talented musician / producer / lyricist, vocalist, Renaissance man within the music industry, we'll say.
I keep trying to tell you that's not what that means.
Within the music industry.
No, the whole point is that it would have to be crossing industries.
Within the music
He doesn't
industry.
understand what calling someone a Renaissance person means.
Okay.
The whole point is that in the Renaissance, they were artists and they were scientists. They're two different things. You gotta be two different things.
And they were turtles.
And they were turtles.
I know. Whatever. He does a lot. He's multi-talented. Does that work?
Yes.
Okay.
He's not an artist and a turtle.
He is not. Maybe one day.
One day he can do an epic rap battle against himself.
Maybe.
I love the ladies, I like to keep it mellow. So let me pass the mic to my man Donatello.
If you don't recognize Jack Antonoff by name, or Bleachers, his most popular song, I Want to Get Better, that's usually one that jogs people's brain. He's also a member of a band called Fun, a trio named Fun, which I did not know until about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I told you that.
I just thought it was that Nate guy and two randoms, and I wouldn't even know.
And the two other guys from The Lonely Island.
Right. It's just Jimmy Fallon and Justin Timberlake and that Nate guy.
They're not in The Lonely Island.
I know, it just is a different parts of the joke. We're not off to a good start, I suppose. But no, he's in Fun. I had no idea until 2 weeks ago. I knew the only reason why I feel like I knew that Nate guy was in Fun is because
he had that song with
Pink, which is awful.
I hate that song.
That song sucks. No offense, but
it's
that
just
song
so
sucks.
boring, and it was like one of those songs. It was that era that was just like you just heard the same thing over and over and over again. There wasn't enough variety, and oh my god, it was everywhere all the time. It was not good.
So glad we've moved past that as a society, but Fun had a lot of good tunes. I mean,
3.
Yeah, that's
3.5.
People who pretend like it was more than that. I don't.
They had one album.
Yes. Well, they had 3 albums.
What?
Yes.
What?
They had the Load, Aim, and Fire one. That one that artsy people always are like.
No
be
clue
different.
What you're talking about, bro.
Then they had Some Nights.
That's
right?
the only one I thought they had.
You've seen this before. Aim and Ignite.
No.
You've definitely seen that cover
What?
before. I will put a picture. I mean, I don't know. I feel like every artsy kid in high school was like, "Oh, this has been fun," and then like they put that cover up there.
I only know
their
about
story and
Some
stuff.
Nights, and it's We Are Young, Some Nights.
Okay, excuse me. It's 2 albums. I thought it was 3.
What's the other song?
Carry
On.
That's the one.
And
yeah.
then they had the half song is the song with Panic. Come on,
Yes, but
which is good. That song slaps.
yes. So Jack Antonoff, the mastermind behind Bleachers. It's pretty much like a solo project.
There's
kind
not
of.
other dudes.
Well, I mean, there's like touring musicians and people he writes with, but it's like his.
Oh, I
Like, he
just assumed
writes
it was a
through the-
different band he was in.
No, he writes through the vehicle of Bleachers. Like
Oh,
it's
okay.
just kind of him
Oh.
and whoever wants to play, I guess, or whoever he wants to collab with. But it's the brainchild of Jack Antonoff. He didn't start it as like a means for an end to fun. Apparently, like it wasn't like, oh, this thing's kind of wrapping up. Like I better start something. Like he kept it secret for a while. Like that first Bleachers album, he was like recording and only basically told like his close family about it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I Want to Get Better was popular at a similar, I mean, a little bit later, but a similar time to like Some Nights.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think
Which
it came
Some
out-
Nights I think might be the song of the 2010s. Just putting that out there.
I know. I just wish it wasn't. You know, just I'm
That
not.
song's great.
I don't. We've had this discussion before. It's like not.
No, it's really good. That song's really good.
That's okay.
We Are Young, I'm bored.
Yeah,
Carry
that one's
On,
bored.
fine.
The only thing.
Some Nights is amazing.
Well, some nights I wish that this all would end, 'cause I could use some friends for a change.
The only thing cool about We Are Young is the slowdown at the choruses. You got a tempo change. The verses are faster than the choruses. I
Yeah.
can appreciate that musical.
Well,
twinge,
Some Nights
but-
it has a bunch of different acts.
Yeah, but it's got that weird auto tune at the end, man. That crap
Okay,
is
I don't
weird.
like the auto tune, but that's
Yeah.
a very small, like maybe 5% of the song is auto tuned.
I'm bored. I'm bored with Some Nights.
That's crazy.
No offense.
It is offensive.
So thank God Jack Antonoff was like, man, I gotta go do my own thing. But yeah, he kept Bleacher secret for a while from everybody, and just kind of did it when Fun. They say that Fun didn't break up. It was just more so like Fun is like this thing that these 3 guys do whenever they're feeling collaborative, and that's that. And so it wasn't like
Yeah.
oh my God, they were at each other's throats or anything. It just kind of dissipated. And
They'll
it's,
just wait until they're having fun again. and
yeah,
then-
just goofing and gaggling. But he has really kind of made a name for himself in the past couple of years, not only with Bleachers, but he's kind of been a really big producer for a lot of people. He's won the last 3 Grammys for Producer of the Year, so
Oh, wow.
in a row. And the only other
A
person
three-peat.
a three-peat. The only other person to three-peat in the producer category was a guy named Babyface.
Oh, we know
Yeah.
Babyface.
Mhm. Yeah, we know Babyface. So that's a pretty good accomplishment.
That's crazy.
3 in a row, 3 producing.
Well, he
Awards in a row.
produces so many different types of things.
He sure does. He's produced Taylor Swift. He's produced Carly Rae Jepsen.
Not Carly Rae.
Lord. He produced Melodrama. Whatever. What's that one? Mellow. Whatever. That.
I
Whatever.
think so.
Lord one. Yeah. But then he's also like been featured on a lot of artist stuff
Yeah,
as well.
you missed our favorite artist that he produces.
The 1975.
The 1975.
Yes.
And he might have produced Taylor Swift and Matty Healy's relationship.
He could have.
I don't think it was real. I think it was a marketing.
Yeah, it was
thing.
definitely just a little thing to get some views.
Yeah,
some
I
clicks.
definitely think that was orchestrated.
It was clickbait for sure. But T Swizzle actually famously kicked off his producing career because before T Swizzle, I think it was like around Reputation time. And
Reputation.
I'm sure we'll get the correction from Tori on this one, but nobody would really give him a shot at producing. And T Swizzle was like, sure, why not, man? Give it a try. And so that's kind of when he developed that role in his musical arsenal. So pretty cool guy. I just think he's very interesting. I think Bleachers as a band is very interesting. Like you don't hear, and we'll definitely get into this as we talk about the song, but like you just don't hear stuff like this. Like sure, it's pop music, but it's not as predictable as you might think, but also not as formulaic as maybe some other stuff that you
He's
hear.
classic All Nation.
Yeah. So, if you've heard Bleachers before, they've got 3 albums now. Jack's got 3 albums now. With this most recent one, the self-titled, was released this year, a couple weeks ago, and he doesn't show any signs of slowing down. Seems to like this gig, and it's working for him. So,
Sick.
I don't know if he's surpassed Fun in terms of success yet.
I would think so. I mean, I want to get better at Roller Coaster or like our classic Alt Nation songs. They're iconic.
That is true, but I think some of these Fun songs have like 1 billion streams. Yeah, We Are Young's got 1 billion. And Some Nights has got 670 million. And, those songs were out before Spotify existed. Right? Like 2013, 2014.
I guess that's true, yeah.
Let's see. That Some Nights 2012. So, top Bleachers song, I Want to Get Better, 156 million streams.
Huh.
Roller Coaster 162. Which
I
Roller
guess-
Coaster has more. I wouldn't think that'd be the case. I think that I want to get
that
better.
makes sense to me.
But that's just me. So
Um,
I don't think he's surpassed just yet. But he's
Okay.
he's on his way.
I think if in the alternative space, I think that he's probably surpassed Fun.
Well, yeah, he's
But
had more staying
in,
power too.
in the entire music space.
Yes, and he's had more
Yeah.
staying power.
Mm.
Like Fun 2 albums and woohoo.
Yeah,
The Fun was very limited.
yeah.
Limited fun.
Limited fun.
But he's won 10 Grammys over the course of his career so far. The three-peat being the most notable. Bit of tragedy struck him as a child, or in his early upbringing. His little sister had brain cancer at 13. She died.
Oh my gosh. Well,
like
that's
when
horrible.
he was like 18, like senior high school or whatever.
My goodness.
And so he's talked about and been honest about how like a lot of the stuff that he's written has been like, dealing with that and the experience of that, but also just the experience of that as he's aged. Like, how does that look different to him? How does he internalize some of those feelings as he's aged, like through that perspective? So I think that's very interesting. Obviously very tragic, but it's curious to think about like how our perspective and how our lens can change through age and through time and experience and whatnot. But he's very open and honest about how that has affected his writing. Already talked about it. He kept his project secret for a long time. The name Bleachers, you're gonna like this, is inspired by a lot of John Hughes stuff
Love that.
because the bleachers themselves kind of represent like the disconnected part of like suburban living. You're like out on the bleachers, very like isolated kind of thing.
Oh, there are lots of shots of people like watching gym class, like sitting
Mhm.
alone on bleachers.
Mhm. But also, he thinks that when John Hughes films were relevant, and they still are, but
I was about
when
to
they
say,
were
excuse me?
at their popularity's peak.
Ferris Bueller is popular every day in my heart.
Of course. But he said that the songs in those movies, like they were big songs, but they were also like big feeling, like they were good songs. Like the big songs, they were good. Like it wasn't just, maybe some of the crap you hear on the radio nowadays.
Okay,
So I thought you'd like that.
I like it. Confirmed.
But yeah, just a really interesting fella. And he once called, and I thought this was funny for me, he once called running one of the most truly boring experiences on earth. While he was in Fun, he had like a bad bout of pneumonia or something, and his pulmonologist prescribed that he go for like a short run every day. And so he was...
It's an interesting diagnosis. Hey, you're sick and you can't breathe. You should try running.
You should try running. I don't know if it like moved the fluid around or what, but
Maybe it's just like he was like really inactive and it made his immune system bad or
that
something.
too. But yeah, he said running is one of the most truly boring experiences on earth.
I understand that.
That's tough.
I don't know if boring is the word I would use it because I can't do it long enough to get bored.
Just more miserable.
Yeah, miserable.
That I can get behind. Boring, I don't know. A lot's happening, There's
Can't
changes in
breathe.
terrain.
My chest is
there's-
hurting.
Right. It's not
My
boring.
stomach hurts.
Things are happening. But he as a person is like obsessed with making and producing music. He says that like if he hits a roadblock with like writing music, he's gonna go produce something, or like and vice versa. Like he uses it as an escape from itself. Like he's not really doing any other hobbies or nothing. He's just like
Hobbies.
This is what I do, and I'm just gonna do it different if I run into a wall, which is commendable.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of somebody getting hyper fixated on something to that extent where like when it chases them away, they just go to a different direction with it, which is a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
But the self-titled album, came out a couple weeks ago, has themes of love, loss, maturity, and contentment. He did get married recently, within the last couple of years, to that one actress lady. I don't remember her name. But she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so that's cool.
That's cool.
But he did a lot of instruments for it. He's kind of like Brendan Urie in that way, where he's going to do a good bit of what's going on and then kind of invite people to come on and do the rest and what have you. Matty Healy does play piano on one of the songs. It's called Hey Joe. It is not a cover of the version that Jimi Hendrix popularized. But it is the first album on his own label. So it's like Bleachers Band Recordings or whatever it's called. Which makes me wonder, that seems to be more of a popular trend these days. How hard is it to create your own label?
I guess it's just about the funding of, marketing and any physical media you want to do.
I guess so, but it's
and
not
especially if you're already famous, you're already going to have the contacts to be able to like do that yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I assume there's countless advantages of doing so, but it just seems like that's the thing nowadays. People have their own label that they're releasing stuff through. I don't know if
we
you've
release this
observed that.
podcast on our own label.
We sure do. We do it our way. No big music man gonna tell us what to do, Sticking it to the man every Monday morning on Mike's Monday Jams. So, how about that?
Oh, yeah. We do produce it ourselves.
We do. I mean, everything's
There are
in-house.
podcast labels. There are podcast, like, companies. TMG, I was telling you about
That is
earlier.
true.
They're their own podcast company. Stuff like that. We do it all ourselves. We
That's-
set it all up. We take it all down. We edit it. We post it ourselves.
It's all in-house.
Yep.
Like
it's
ham
just
is made.
us. You brought up your own ham thing. Tell them about how you don't know where ham comes from.
So recently I found out where ham comes from. I didn't know. I thought it was just like a delicacy meat.
That's not what deli stands for.
I
It's
know.
short for
That's
either.
that's not where I was going. I was just saying that I thought it just happened to be coincidence that the word deli is in delicacy. So now that was dumb on your part, but I just thought it was like a nicer thing that was like made in-house with either like an amalgamation of meats or it was just its own thing.
Because the other meats that are made in-house, like bologna, are so nice.
Yeah, for sure. So I didn't know it was like pig butt until like, I don't know, what did you say? It was like 6 months ago?
Yeah. I said
Oh,
I wanted to make
well.
a ham steak for dinner.
And I was like, hold on.
Well, no. I was like, I'm going to make like an apple chutney to go on the ham steak because apples go so well with pork. And Mike said, it's not pork though, it's ham. I said, what do you mean? He said, it's not pork, it's ham.
By far
I
my
said,
dumbest moment.
I said, where do you think ham comes from? He said, I don't know. So that was how that came up.
By far my dumbest moment. I'm not proud of it, but we all have our
You
our
brought
dumb
it up, though.
moments. Oh, I know. You don't have to pull the receipts. I know. I'm not fighting that. I did it. But alas, yeah, I didn't know. So feel free to roast me because that one
so
was
funny.
pretty dumb. of
It's
me,
so funny.
but,
I've had to tell everyone I know you didn't know where ham came from.
I have to speak my truth and live with it. But no, it's made in house. So that's a running joke from now on. But yeah, this podcast is like ham, made in house.
Yep. No, it's like ham. It comes from the butt of a pig.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But hey, the mo you know. Jack stated about this album that this album makes you feel like you're sitting in a room with him right now. Like in the sense of like you were in touch with like who he is as a person like right now. He said in the past like he's been fixated about writing about stuff from the past or the future or vice versa, but he's like, this is how I feel right now.
Bro's living in the present.
Right. He is, you know, he's there. He's there. If only he was living and dying in 3/4 time like our friend Jimmy Buffett. But, you know, maybe he just hasn't reached that era of life, or that season of life.
That season
Just
of
yet.
his life.
But alas, I got to respect that honesty. And, you know, I think that, and we've talked about this on the podcast before, but when people come up with self-titled albums, it's usually like if they're just starting out, they don't know what to call it, or they're trying to like, you know, repeat the name over and over again so that way they're in your head. But also like sometimes people self-title their album when they feel like they're really kind of embodying themselves as an
Yeah,
artist.
like I'm in my own now.
Right.
So this
And-
is my own thing.
And so this feels like that for Jack Antonoff.
All right.
It's a fun cover too, leaning up against a nice car, little 50s looking photo, you know, nice little wave. He looks like a nice fella, you know. He might
With his
might
goofy thick glasses.
he might invite you over for a Tupperware party or something, you know. So
He's selling Tupperware now.
yeah, you know. But this song, Tiny Moves, for starters, I think it literally makes Tiny Moves musically, because you like it starts. Well, so callback a couple episodes ago, you were talking about, you know, this little dance. This definitely feels like for
Oh,
this
for
song.
sure, for
This
sure.
like right away. Like
Mhm.
first time I heard it, you know, it just makes you wanna. It makes you want to do tiny moves, back and forth.
Give me
Tiny
one of
moves.
these.
Give a little tiny moves. Switch it up. Give some finger dances. You know. So
IE, you could point. You can be like,
just to do some tiny moves and have it be appropriate. But it makes tiny moves musically, like a very slow like build up, and everything that's added to it is kind of added like one at a time.
mhm.
But it's also taken away one at a time. And so I think that's something to note, and is something that's very interesting. And like his vocal part gets louder as the song goes on too. Like he starts off just kind of like not whispering, but it's almost kind of like a small like talking singing.
Oh,
You know,
oh,
just
get
like
it?
just real. He's
Mhm.
right there, but then it builds,
Mhm, mhm.
making those tiny moves. And it has such an interesting key change. We were talking about this before we went on air, but it's like just so different than anything in contemporary music these days.
Mhm.
It's almost like a different song, because going up to it, you think the song's about to end, and it doesn't. It
It's
just
a bit of a swell.
yeah, a little different key change. So it's, you know, you're a big fan of movements,
Love movements. I love key changes too, and you know why I love key changes?
because
The
the Brooks
Jonas
and Dunn.
Brothers.
Oh,
No.
Poor
The
Campbell
Jonas
Loaf
Brothers
Girls.
have both sure. Jonas Brothers have so many key changes. All their big songs
They
change
do.
keys.
That
And
is fair.
That was, and I mean, I think it ingrained in me as a child to like key changes.
That's fair, but yeah, a lot of country songs have key changes,
Yeah.
especially from your childhood
Mhm.
in that era.
Oh my God! Only in America.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, key change is very hard to write, by the way, musically.
Oh.
There's a formula to it.
I was about to say you don't
like,
just shift everything.
Yeah, but like trying to think about it while you're playing is very difficult.
Okay.
So
I'm
you know,
sure. I
for
mean, I
the-
can't play, so it'd be difficult for me anyways.
But yeah, just having to switch on a dime like that sometimes is difficult, music from a musician perspective. But no, I don't know how many times you hear key changes in
There's not a lot
modern
of key
music.
changes. It's almost, well, we talk about this on the podcast all the time, but the songs are so short. It's like
Mhm.
there's not even time to do a key change.
It's almost like maybe he was trying to avoid it being this song, avoiding it being short. And he was
Yeah.
like, here, what if we just like key change it and like
Sing it again.
take it in a little different direction? But it works so well.
It's cute.
So I'm not even mad that like if the thought to like purposefully extend the song was to make a little tiny move to change the key and
Mhm.
keep on going. So yeah, I would love to see a trend over time. Key
Mhm.
changes. How do we stack up? You know, what's that line of best fit looking like
Not the line of best fit.
from, you know, like the 30s until now? Key changes. So,
Hmm.
but definitely most popular from like, I don't know, I want to say like the 90s until maybe the 80s till, I don't know, early 2000s.
Sure.
I would say is when the peak is. And there's a sax and a key change.
Duke Silver.
Duke Silver for sure.
Anytime I hear a sax solo, I'm like, oh, that's Duke Silver breaking it out, brother.
The guy who saved Catch Your Dream, you know.
Catch your dream.
But it's a good sax. You got to be listening for it, but it's there. It's a nice little subtle
I'm
detail.
always listening for a sax every moment of every day.
Big sax girl.
Hell yeah. Dudes will hear a sax solo and say, hell yeah.
Make you feel like Jimmy Fallon. They, toss the fake
Yes.
saxophone back and forth across the set. Well,
Mhm.
that's to old time rock and roll, Bob
Mhm.
Seger. But the song's meaning, it's presumably a happy song. I think it's more about his marriage and how like the right person can like make the tiniest moves that like destable the way you like think about certain things, or like may have been like super stubborn about something in the past, and it's just like, wow, like they can really just kind of cause you to do a real self audit into the way that you think about things, just with the little tiniest moves they make, with the little thought provoking questions they ask, with the little mannerisms that they have and reactions that they have to your thoughts, feelings, and things along those lines.
Well, that's
So,
cute.
Yeah, but he's obviously been through a lot, and I think that like it's all about kind of like maybe instead of like this loss that he had as a child, like instead of just like putting it over there and saying like that's that, and we just kind of don't touch that, we don't talk about that unless it like becomes relevant, instead of like let me carry it with me and let me like experience what's around me with that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think his partner in this case has made the tiny moves to have him come to that realization.
Well, that's sweet.
What's your lady take about tiny moves?
I think it's really cute. It's a cute little song. It's definitely giving this energy.
The little dance.
Only a thought I have, beyond what's already been said, song's called Tiny Moves, and he says tiniest moves. I think it would have been cuter if he called it tiniest moves.
If he used the superlative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or he called it teeny tiny moves.
Teensy tiny.
Teensy tiny moves. But yeah, but it's cute. I like it.
Good. Well, now rolling into the segments portion of our episode, with the first being Emma's Everyday Jam. Of course, this is Mike's Monday Jam, but we got to give the lady her spotlight on what she's been listening to.
I put so
every
much
day.
effort into the pod. I guess I should get to talk about a song.
For sure.
Well, I'm going to throw it back to one of my first Everyday Jams. Because our friend Slate Dog
Slate Dog.
Shout works
out.
for Ole Miss, and he wanted Mike to go with him, but I was second
Runner
choice,
up.
which is understandable. It's okay.
She's still on the podium, but
I still asked,
silver medal.
but I'm sure we've discussed this on the podcast at some point before. But last year we did have tickets to see Big Mo, Mr. Morgan Wallen, at Vaught Hemingway Stadium at Ole Miss
In Oxford, Mississippi.
in Oxford, Mississippi, roundabout, what was it, April 23rd.
April 20th.
And that was the show that infamously, 5 minutes before he was supposed to come to the stage, was canceled. They put up things everywhere that said, like, Morgan's not feeling well, like, blah, blah, blah. So, he's really stuck with the narrative that he lost his voice. They canceled like
Something's up.
6 weeks of shows, and it all started with that first show. He did a show the night before in Oxford. We saw Ernest, we saw Hardy, and then they told us to go home. And
Emma was upset.
I was devastated. I did cry, and I did flip off his
His truck.
touring truck. But they really
Just had to let
I
off some steam.
I was sure they were going to come out and say he, was like super drunk and that like he had to go to rehab or something. But they've really stuck with the whole thing about him losing his voice. And it hasn't happened since. So I don't know. But anyways, he did
Suspicious.
reschedule it for this April. And of course, when they were like, "Oh, you can buy the new tickets," I was like, "Don't do that. We're gonna live in Connecticut." But it's actually while I will be home for like our very final wedding touches and my bridal photo shoot and whatnot. And Slate Dog got free tickets from the athletic department and asked if I would come. So my mom and I are gonna go see Morgan Wallen. Hopefully, he will show up.
Maybe the truth will come out.
Maybe he'll answer some questions.
Yeah. He'll do a Q&A.
Do a cute little quick
50,000
Q&A at that Vaught Hemingway Stadium.
I'll now be taking questions.
He doesn't talk like that. But I've been listening. I've been like listening to some Big Mo since I found out yesterday we're gonna go. So I'm gonna pick Everything I Love by Morgan Wallen, which I think was one of my earlier ones in the beginnings of the podcast.
Wish I would've known about now. You'd be good and gone, and you'd leave us in a cloud of dust. Can't you see what you're doing, girl? You ruin damn near everything I love.
I'll have to keep a list of them. We'd have to go back and, compile that, but then do we
Like
could
a-
do
like-
a top 3 on yours and
Oh
we
my
can roast
God.
you for them.
You know that those like videos where it'll be like, what was the #1 song throughout this year? Like every week, and it has like the songs going like this.
Mm-hmm.
Do that for my Monday jams. Like they're
Right.
coming back up.
For your everyday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It
For
was
and how
mad,
many
mad season at the
how
top.
many appearances?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, I like that. Okay, maybe one day.
After a year of the podcast, I'll make a reel
That sounds
of my
like
my year in review of Everyday Jams.
which I mean we're closer to than
Yeah.
not.
yeah,
we're
we've been
closer
doing it
than
for
further.
we've been doing it for more than 6 months.
So we're over the hill.
Over the hill game.
Cool. Now we're going to switch into our major minor chords, which is, of course, the segment in which we talk about our respective highs and lows for the week. What do you got?
My high for the week is tomorrow. We're flying home. We're gonna go back home first time since Christmas. I'm gonna have my bridal shower, which I've been thinking about. I've been practicing how to behave at it. Because I know my mother would like me to behave.
Are you going pinky out?
No, well, I kind of do that naturally, actually.
Yeah, feels
but
right.
but just being a little lady. I'm good at the center of attention being on me if it's because I'm being funny. But
Yeah.
me being the center of attention because I'm the bride, not used to that.
Well, you're going to have to get used
I'm
to
gonna
it.
have to start figuring it out. So that's why I've been practicing being like,
You
oh my
got
god, it's so nice to see you. Oh my gosh,
got-
thank you for coming.
You got 51 days to figure it out.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure that one out. But I am excited about it, and I'm excited for us to go home and see all of the people and drink amaretto slush. And then my low is that, generally I'm still coughing. I'm going to have to cut a bunch of coughs out of this episode. I feel pretty much perfectly fine. It's just like a little nagging cough, seasonal. Apparently I'm not allergic to anything, so it's not seasonal
You
allergies.
did just find that out.
I did go to the allergist, found out I'm not allergic to anything.
Crazy.
But, which is wild because I'm constantly ill. Yeah, so just a little, but I'm definitely on the mend. It's definitely going away. It's been much worse. It's very much like right here. It'll be away in a few days, hopefully.
Yeet. Minor, I got a boo-boo on my finger. I sliced my finger yesterday.
He comes home and he's like, I don't know what to do.
I got a
Like,
boo-boo.
all right, let's clean it up.
It's like the equivalent of a really deep paper cut.
It does. It looks like paper cut. It's just at the top of your finger, so it's fleshier.
Yeah, but it would not stop bleeding for.
It was bleeding a lot.
But it's not like it needs stitches or anything. It just
No, it's way too small.
is, it got a boo-boo. So, but that's definitely a low. Major, I've had a pretty productive week, but I ran my race, bro.
Yes.
I ran that. I
Yes.
ran that. I
You
finished
made that
in-
race your bitch.
My goal was 2 hours and 5 minutes. You know what? 2 hours and 22 seconds is what happens.
Let's go.
And let me tell you something. I was not expecting that by any means, because like the last little bit was kind of a fight, and like I don't know, probably with 2 or 3 miles left, I just like stopped looking at my watch, and I was just kind of like, whatever happens, happens, and I was like really trying to soak it all in.
Yeah, it was smart.
And because it was like around that time where it's like I just passed Times Square, like the crowd was lit, like one of the best experience I've ever had. And I like probably like 500 feet from the finish line, just like take a glance at the watch, because I was just kind of like, I can feel like, am I almost there yet? Like it was more so to look at the distance. Pop down, my watch said it. I still hadn't hit 2 hours yet. I was like, dang. So
and me and Alice are racing to try to get to the finish line.
So we'll have a more detailed, dedicated video for that later. We'll have to get together and talk about the storyboarding for that one. But
okay. I think I can make that pretty easily. I just have to put the videos together.
Well, I also want to provide some commentary with the mic, because it like I took some little snapshots while running, but like they're not gonna take up a whole video, and I'd like to give some more analysis.
Oh, okay. However you want to do it.
So stay tuned. That'll be a fun one. But it was a great time. So if you're a runner and you like half marathons, if you can ever make it up for the NYC half, it is well worth your time. It's a great race. Last but not least, going to talk about our honorable mentions for the week, the ones that almost made the cut or kind of follow a similar vibe or feeling of the week. The first being the best fun song, which isn't even theirs solo, which is Come On by Fun and Panic at the Disco. Sorry, I didn't expect this to turn into a fun roast, but I really
like Some Nights. I think Some Nights is really good.
I'm good. I'll pass.
All right.
I know that's like, I'm sure you imagine like what, maybe like the equivalent of like, I don't know, like I Want to Dance with Somebody or something that will be like for our children or the generation that's like that we raise. It's like the like one of the big pop songs, like you just said, like the best pop song of the 2010s, like something that's like real big, that's
representing an era.
Yes, precisely.
Yeah, I definitely think that it will represent the 2010s.
I'm kind of upset about that personally.
That chocolate, thrift shop.
That's one I haven't heard in a while.
Why are you not listening to Thrift Shop?
On the daily? You are?
No. I do listen to Can't Hold Us at the gym, though.
Oh.
Can't Hold Us is a great working out song.
Downtown's a good one.
Oh, Downtown's great, too.
Where is Macklemore? Is he okay?
He's at the Thrift Shop.
Oh, duh. But yeah, no, I ain't heard Thrift Shop in a moment. Maybe Umbrella.
I was literally about to say something by Rihanna.
Umbrella LAAA?
Is Umbrella not... Umbrella might have been 09.
Yeah, but it would still... Just because it's the 2010s, I mean...
Oh, Rihanna. I was going to say something from Rihanna.
Yeah,
so,
you get the point. But yeah. I'm upset that Fun has that title.
That's ridiculous. I think it's so good.
I'm good. I'd prefer Pompeii, personally.
Oh, Pompeii could be one?
AAO.
Absolutely. I can't wait to sing it at Pompeii.
Second honorable mention on the list is one called 'Cause You Have To by Lainey.
Baby, tell me the truth. Do you only love me 'cause you have
to? I've gone back. Lainey released a new album like a couple months ago, I think back in October. And recently, the last 3 albums, just I'm pretty decent fan of Lainey, of theirs, but the music was only good when Paul was getting his heart torn up. So
Dula Peep need to screw him up again.
Yes, but this one's not bad. I can get behind this one. It's got some, like, the best album is Malibu Nights. It's got some like Malibu Nights feeling to it. So. I gotta give credit where it's due.
Alrighty.
So go listen to 'Cause You Have To. And last but not least, since Bleachers is of the John Hughes inspo, what is the song that comes to mind for you in a John Hughes? Like when you think about John Hughes movies, as fantastic as they are and as great soundtracks that they have, like what is the John Hughes song that comes to mind?
Hold up your orange.
Correct. Don't You Forget About Me. Simple Minds for the last honorable mention.
I always thought it was the Breakfast Club. When I was a kid, I thought he was holding up an orange. That was what he was going to have for breakfast. And I don't know why I didn't think he was a fist. I thought he was, this is my breakfast. This is my club. This is Breakfast Club. This is my orange. That's what I'm going to have for breakfast.
Take that vitamin C.
Screw scurvy. I'm having an orange for breakfast.
But yes, that's the John Hughes song. I feel like that's indisputable.
I think so, too. I think you can say that, I mean, for me, I think about Twist and Shout.
Well, sure.
But
for the era.
But of all of them.
Yeah. Of all of them,
I'm with it.
keeping in mind, the 80s-ness of it.
Absolutely.
Twist and Shout is great. Did it
Yeah.
come out in the 80s?
No. It wasn't. Don't You Forget About Me 4 in the movie?
No, I'm not sure. I know, it came out on a Simple Minds album. So I can't comment on that.
All right.
But we did see this song be played live by Matchbox 20.
By Matchbox 20.
Which they did great.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Simple Minds was a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
But alas, they made a great one. It's
it was who was it supposed to be? It wasn't supposed to be Simple Minds. Somebody else passed it up, and that's how they got it. So they would have been a no-hit wonder if it was
Shoulda, coulda, woulda,
who sings people are people, so what could it be? It was
Huh?
People are people.
I don't know that one.
Yes, you do. It's look up human or something.
Is it Human League?
Yeah, that's who sings it. No, it wasn't them who passed it up.
Not just the full-on convicted yeah, it's them, and then you're nah. What's wrong with you?
I can't remember who it. But
You knew it wasn't gonna be them, and you're yeah.
You know what?
No.
Maybe it was. Look it up. Look up who passed up. Don't You Forget About Me.
I looked up who
passed
passed,
up.
and it said who passed away today. Jeez. Cy Curran,
No.
lead singer of the Fix.
No,
Another 80s. I mean, man, I love.
it was somebody more popular
Why
than
don't
that.
they do what to say? Say what you mean. Billy Idol.
Yeah.
Yes, Brian Ferry and Billy Idol. Eventually, Simple Minds did record the song.
I think there must be a lot of people that passed up on this song.
I think it looks like the internet is saying Billy Idol.
Okay.
But our
Why was I thinking about a Human League?
and you just full on yeah. Wait, no. What?
So convicted in it. I think, and then for some reason in my head, I'm feeling like I learned this on Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, I think that does feel like a.
So maybe Jimmy
Fallon-esque
Fallon was
fact.
talking about the Human League, and that's why it's in my mind.
Maybe. He. If you would have told me, Jimmy Fallon was in the Human League, I'd be like, oh, yeah. 1,000%.
It wasn't old enough.
No. But, he just has, that'd just be, one of those, random facts. It's oh,
Yeah.
yeah, how did Jimmy Fallon get his start? He's in a band called the Human League.
We
But
know how Jimmy Fallon got his
I
start.
know. I know. He was an executive for Walgreens. I know. No,
He's
but
a really big fan of the Red Sox.
right. So no, that did great song though. Also, got ties to Pitch Perfect.
Of course, awesome moment in Pitch Perfect. So good. Jesse throws up his orange. Oh, and then they kiss. Great. And I wanted to wear her pants so bad. And I bought them. and then somebody stole them from me during band.
Not theft.
Yep, theft of my pants I bought at Hot Topic.
Theft of my pants. That sounds like a alternative rock band.
We're losing it. We're
Theft of
losing it
my
at the end of the
pants.
episode.
This has definitely got to be the longest we've ever talked about honorable mention. So Simple Minds should be honored. That's going to do it for us this week, folks. Hope you enjoyed our goofing and gaggling towards the
We're
end
gaggling.
here. But appreciate the like, subscribe, the follow, the comment, the all of the above, the share. We used to get on that grind of telling your mailman about us. Get back to that.
Oh
It's-
yeah, the
it's-
toll operator.
Yeah, it's tell a random person about Mike's Monday Jam season.
You should definitely tell whoever you order with at Chick-fil-A.
Oh, for
It
sure.
would be my pleasure to listen to Mike's Monday Jams.
They probably are required by law to say that. So
Mhm.
there we go.
Alrighty.
But thank you for all of the things and listen this week, and we shall see you next time for April Fool's Day.
Oh. Bye.